Welcome to comparing and ordering decimals in Hesterville. Honestly, today we're going to do just that. Starting off with our standard. We are accountable in the 5th grade for being able to compare and order 2 decimals to the thousandths. If you remember our THC, that's down the 3rd decimal behind the 3rd location behind our decimal. And represent comparisons using less than, greater than, or equal to symbols. So let's get started on a short little, I'm actually going to have you take an oath. You there, right at home, hold up your right hand, please. You too, Penny. The first law of comparing decimals. Repeat after me. I will line up my decimals. Thank you. I hear you at home saying that. Number 2, I will make my decimals happy. That doesn't mean you have to make them smile, but we're going to use some examples as to what it means to line up our decimals and make your decimals happy, which you will do at all times, or else the math police will get you. Okay, starting off, let's just use 2 numbers. Dollars, money amount. Now, we'll get into rounding the thousandths, which is how we typically see our money down to the nearest hundredths. But just for the sake of comparing this, you're seeing 2 amounts that have whole numbers, tenths, hundredths. Well, the first law of comparing decimals was to line up our decimals. So I'm going to take this number, simply line it up. Where I have my ones place in line, deci the decimal, lined up, my tenths, my hundredths, and I have a thousandths in this one, but I don't have a thousandths here. Now, the reason we lined it up is to see, okay, I can compare. We're going to compare some numbers in just a moment. But in all honesty, scholars typically want to say, Mrs. Hester, that's the bigger number. I mean, obviously, there's 4 digits, but that's not the case. If you were to look behind and see that what's in the thousandths place, even though it appears to be nothing, what is a digit that holds the value of nothing? That's right, a 0. So I'm going to simply put a 0 in that thousandths place. And now if I look at this number, I'm seeing 1 and 899 thousandths compared to 1 and 900 thousandths. Now it's pretty clear for me to see that, oh, this is the bigger number here. Now what I mean by making my decimals happy is simply just doing what I did in adding a 0. Anytime you have extra digits over on the right hand side, line them up. Add extra zeros. They hold no value. It'll be just fine. So let's practice we actually have 5 numbers here. And just for the sake of you understanding, this is the hundreds place. All right? Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you know I've lined up all these numbers and I haven't necessarily made them happy. All right? So first law, line them up. Second law, make them happy. Well, let's get there. When you compare and order decimals, and I don't mean pull up to Starbucks and be like, I would like this, I would like this. You're not ordering any numbers. You're going to simply place them in the correct order, okay? Whether it's least to greatest, whether it's greatest to least, whether it's smallest to largest or largest to smallest, whether it's increasing or whether it's decreasing. We have to look for those vocabulary terms that are going to ask us what to do and pay particular attention to them. Today, let's just check it out. I'm lining them up just like you read a book from left to right. When we compare numbers, we compare them from the farthest number to the left. That might be the billions, it might be the thousands. But I'm going to compare my hundredths place. They're all the same. Since they're all the same, I'm going to scoot on over and look at my tens place. Tens, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Still the same. Going to my ones place now. Ooh, I found some differences. So let's just say I'm looking for the greatest number. If I'm looking for the greatest, I am able to pinpoint that this guy is the winner. Now, I have 2 that are 8s and 2 that are 7s. So right now, I'm going to have to scoot on over to my next digit to determine which one of these is greater. So I'm going to scoot on over, make sure your decimals are lined up. Tenths place. Now, whenever I look at 8 and 5/10 or 8 and 6/10, I know this one's the bigger number. That's my second one. This one is third, falling into third. Oops. Now, fourth, I have 417.9 and 417.3. So I'm able to check it off that this one is fourth and this one is fifth. But as I scoot on over, I might want to double check. And when I notice that 417.97 doesn't have as many digits as this one, I don't need to be concerned. Because as long as I go, make my decimals happy, I see that 970 is indeed bigger than 309 and 630. Have fun comparing decimals. We'll do more tomorrow.